Hello. I use these one-way flat jaws with wood facings reasonably often, but there seems to be some confusion or unfamiliarity with them. I don't know if I have 3 one-way chucks and this Supernova 2 chuck. Those are the only chucks I've ever used. I'm not familiar with any of the other chucks on the market, so I don't know if these flat jaws are compatible with or available for other chucks. They're basically turn your chuck into an adjustable faceplate. These screw holes are countersunk on the back side of the jaw, so you can drive screws through from the back into a piece of wood. To make any custom shaped jaws that you want. The jaw itself is just a fairly heavy, solid piece of steel. It's almost 5/16 of an inch thick. The mounting hole spacing on the jaws for the one-way basic or Talon chucks are the same. The whole spacing is the same for the Nova chuck, so that I am able to use these on my Nova chuck. They don't have a ridge to fit into the slot on the jaws that most jaw sets have. Like most jaw sets have this ridge that fits into that slot. That actually adds an awful lot of strength to the jaw, so these will not be nearly as strong, because you're basically, without that ridge, you're only relying on the strength of the mounting screw. So this system is more for reasonably lightweight, low stress turning, rather than really cranking down on the jaws to tighten something. All you're relying on is the shear strength of these screws. Rather, like if that ridge was in there, that adds an awful lot of shear strength to your jaws. Since these don't have that ridge, you're only relying on the strength of the screws, which is considerable, but it's also considerably less than it would be if there was a ridge there. But since they don't have the ridge, there's no problem at all with fitting them on, as long as the hole spacing is the same. And the hole spacing looks like it's about 18 millimeters center to center. And that's the same on the Nova chucks and the one-way basic and Talon chucks. I don't know about a one-way stronghold because I've never used one of those either. The one-way chucks have this groove milled in the face of the chuck body, And their jaw sets, one of the jaws will have a little pin. It's just a little roll pin sticking out the back that engages with that slot. And what that does is limits the travel of the jaw so that you can't open the chuck up enough so that the jaws will fly out. Nova chucks use a different method to limit jaw travel. They don't have that slot milled. So if you're using a Nova chuck, you'll need to either, that's just a little roll pin. If you can get a grip on it with a pair of pliers, you can usually squeeze it enough to pull it out. If you can't, then you can just grind it off so that it will work on a Nova chuck. If you've taken that, that's a safety device. If you take that out and then go and use it on a Nova Oneway chuck again, you have overridden the safety device and you're on your own as far as limiting jaw travel. I don't find that a problem myself, but it's something to think about. So there's the two mounting screws are countersunk on the front face, and then there's three holes that are countersunk on the back face to mount, so you can drive screws through from the back to mount a piece of wood, which you can then shape any way you like to suit your with the project you're trying to grip. You can't really take this and mount it on a piece of wood and then mount it on the chuck, because you'll have covered up those mounting holes. So in general, you mount the flat jaw onto the chuck, and then turn it over and open the chuck up, and that gives you enough room to get at those screw holes to mount the piece of wood. Now, as far as the piece of wood goes, all you need is one square corner, and you mount that with that square corner there, and then you can bandsaw the outside roughly round and then mount it on your chuck and turn it to true it up, to balance everything up, which is what I have done with these ones. That works pretty well. I use it fairly often for different situations. As you are custom making it for the diameter you're trying to grip, you're getting much more contact between the jaws and the piece you're holding, so there's far less likelihood of the jaws marring the workpiece. Thanks for watching.